Coffee is good. Calvin Prime said, good morning, Empress. How are you doing? I'm well. Thank you for asking. James Swap 4377 said, good morning, beautiful. Good morning to you. That was on Instagram. Grateful for your presence. Kitchen chairs. There's a seal on it, so I don't want to cut it too low. It smells so good. Coffee beans. And then I have a little coffee grinder slash food processor here. Cam Joy, thank you for being here. I have people jumping in and out of TikTok, but have 0 likes, so feel free to tap, tap, tap away. Avita Sabicure said hello. Hello to you. Naria Kanwar said hi to you. Avita Sabicure said, what is that? It is coffee. I bought some coffee yesterday. It's coffee beans. Grind up some coffee and have coffee. It is currently 6:31 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here in Washington State, where I am a realtor. Feel free to ask questions, hang out. Neil Smith 90 on TikTok is liking up live. I am streaming on 6 platforms. I'm on my phone on TikTok and on my webcam on my Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Kick, and Twitch. Barrel Gideon 6 on Instagram said good morning to you, bestie. Good morning. Bashir Gordy 33 said good morning. Good morning to you. Naria Kunwar said, what is your favorite coffee? My favorite coffee is one with a lot of sugar in it, to be honest. I like a latte. I haven't really settled on like a brand of coffee or a blend of coffee, but I do just enjoy coffee. My husband had actually made a really good comparison, because I was talking about like the greatest rappers, and he said, well, what's your favorite superhero? I'm like, it's kind of hard to say that. And he goes, well, it's kind of like, and so anyway, we're going back and forth, and I was like, well, he's like, well, yeah, rappers are kind of like superheroes or Marvel characters. I was like, that's how I feel about everything. Like, I love coffee. So what's your favorite coffee? I'm like, I don't know, I just like all of them. That's probably how some men feel about women and their conquest. Anyway, grinding my coffee, looking at my comments. Korea on TikTok said hello. Hola. Hola to you. I always feel like I grinded enough and then later I get... Okay, it's probably fine. So what I'm going to do... Kitchen's a little cluttered at the moment. So this is like a little coffee tin. So the plan is you just take the new coffee and you dump it, so that when I'm talking and yapping, it's there. Naria Kunwar said, it is nighttime. It is nighttime where you are. Yes, where you live. It is 6:33 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here in Washington State, where I am a real estate agent. If you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate, feel free. So yesterday I did like a show and tell, and I saged, and that's not like a bad thing, because some people are not on again, and I'm just gonna do it. It's gonna remind me to sage. So I'm gonna crack my window open. So sage is I want to say it's like, obviously it's spiritual, but I mean it's just something God made that we decide to infuse or bless with, or etc. So it's just about being mindful of being positive and removing negative, And who's to say what's good or bad? But we are to say what's good or bad. So I get like emotional, I get depressed, I get sensitive. So I just remind myself that like this too shall pass. Another day, another blessing, another opportunity. And that's all we can do. So a little sage for you, a little sage for you, a little sage for me. Scott said good morning. Sorry, Scott said I sage as well. Scott did say good morning. Scott said good morning. Fireman 99 said good morning, and Scott said I sage as well. I saw your picture of you and your niece Luna. Thank you so much for that. Okay, coffee press, French press. Let's get that going. So my timer, I showed you sage again. I did 3 heaping tablespoons because I don't know the brand, so we're gonna do same. So I had a really good meeting with my friend yesterday. She has a community-based company. I won't go into the intricates of it because she's amazing and I love her, but I want to figure out how she wants me to deliver her brand. But we just basically got to reconnect, catch up. This would be a lot easier for me to stream if I had a little team that was clicking away. Let's go. G Say It EJ on Instagram said hi to you. Did I miss anyone on Instagram? Got Bashir Gordy said hi to you. Cool. Maurice Anderson said, hey, how are you? I'm blessed. How are you? Hello to you. Scott said, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. To you as well. We are at 422 likes. We have the new coffee I just bought. Not sponsored. I paid for it. Coffee in the French press. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. I'm gonna tidy up my counter and then drink some water. Any questions for me? Anything you want to talk about? We're gonna get into finances, real estate, relationships, and religion. Finances. Talked about saving. We talked about financial literacy. We talked about budget. Having a structured plan. This is a candle. It's a Bellevue luxury candle I got from Costco. It was in a 4-pack. And this is Cherry, Grove, and Plum. I light a lot of candles, wear cozy, comfy clothes, and I don't feel 100%. So you gotta take care of yourself. So I'm gonna put that here-ish. Let's move this over. Okay. Coffee. Counter. Oh, that'll be my show and tell. It's my water. So some people are entertained, not everybody. I down my water. I do it for lots of reasons. One, obviously now I do it for entertainment, but I just do it because people are like, I don't like drinking water, I don't want to drink water. Well, me either. I don't like drinking water, it's boring. Unless you're like, oh my gosh, I need water, and it feels very, you're like, whew, refreshing. But I'm like, I get distracted, so I pour the water, right? I have every intention of drinking the water, but do I finish the water? No. So I just plant my feet, and I drink my water. So. And that is a very human thing. I'll down water. People are like, ugh, you're right. I can't just down this water. I don't have to think about it. DEFCON for All said the shirt you were wearing yesterday of Goku, my friend Stephanie Nadolani, is the voice of that character and many others. So you know I love that shirt. Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. I think I was wearing it like 2 or 3 days ago, but the beauty of the internet is that I'm always there. People are like, oh, you should wear that dress again. I'm like, or you could just watch the video again. Or you could just, But no, that's pretty awesome. I grew up on Dragon Ball Z with my brother. So my brother is a year younger than me, so he would watch stuff. He would have the remote, like it was his turn, and I'd be like, ugh, and then I would like watch the storyline, and I know all the characters, and I have become a fan. It's really funny because like even like Marvel and stuff, it wasn't like as like a little girl, I was like begrudging, like, what are we watching? Oh my gosh, I want to watch. And then like it would be my turn for the remote, and then I would watch Spider-Man and Marvel, Pokemon, and yeah. So I'm grateful for my brother being a little brother. Rapster Join, thank you for being here. Scrolling over there, cool beans. Thank you so much. On Facebook and YouTube, I can get thumbs ups and things like that, so feel free. Am I on the wrong camera again? There we go. I'm looking at this camera because I'm thinking you're over here, but you're over there. It's fine. It happens. I was just telling my friend, like, I'll stream for you. I do it every morning. It's like technical issue. It's cool. It's me practicing so I can get better. Coffee with a friend is important every day, and that's what I get to do with you. So I saged, I drank my water. We're going to talk about, Maury said, who's your favorite DBZ character? Not to be super generic, but Goku. Goku is like a horrible dad. He's just very into what he's into, right? And he obviously is for the love of loyalty, but he's been like the same person since he was a kid, right? So, part of me wants to like pick Bulma because I'm like a girl, but she's like, there's no one that I feel like I'm represented in the universe, but I love watching them. I'm a people watcher anyway, and I love stories. Gohan and Trunks is a cool character, and yeah. So Trunks and I can start naming. I can get really geeked out if y'all want me to. But I don't know. I actually didn't watch Goku as a kid, so Dragon Ball, until I was an adult with my kids. But I watched Dragon Ball Z, so like I knew the universe. But it also has been a while. So, and I'm not great on facts. Like I was at J. Cole's concert, and I was like, I've been listening to J. Cole since he was out. He's like 2 years older than me. So I remember being like a young mom, and he was like on tour and doing all this stuff, and I was like, I love the rhythm of rap. And especially his cadence, like he really is good at what he does. Hi, baby.
Hi.
I'm on live. What's going on? You just wake up?
Yeah.
You wanna go lay with Daddy? You wanna go in the living room? Love you. Not Vegeta. Vegeta feels like a bad guy because he kind of is, but like if you look at the yes, sir. The longevity of his storyline is a very deep character, and then seeing him as a husband and a father. So everyone has stuff. Maurice on Facebook said Dragon Ball Super is getting season 2, and I can't wait to see it. Yes, I'm gonna sit down and like rewatch a lot of it. I'm gonna put my phone on Do Not Disturb real quick. There we go. Let me close this door. But yeah, I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, and I have a love of stories, so, but it has been a while. Where is my charger? Just a second. my setup here. Okay. So a lot of times what happens is like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like be emotional, I'm gonna cry, and I don't want to get up, and I don't want to stream, or I don't want to do this thing, you know, this or that. And then I'm like, yeah, this too shall pass. Just jump up. You can have coffee. Like, you have coffee with your audience every day. You earned your audience. You're talking to them. You're communicating. They know that you're there and present. And hopefully you do that with your people too. Okay, finances. What do we want to talk about finances? We talked about savings, talked about budget. No, we talked about financial literacy, then budget. Finances. Oh, diversifying your portfolio. So a lot of people are like, oh, I have all my money under my mattress. But some people are like, oh, I have like a bank I go to. Well, if you think about which bank you're at, what savings accounts they yield interest, if you talk about like diversifying, God forbid you lose a card, or there's like a fraud or something like that, having a credit union, having an international bank, having those things, and then also asking what products your bank carries, right? Diversifying in that thing. So if you have like stocks and bonds and you have CDs, basically a lot of CDs, the minimum is like $1,000. You put it in there, and then you lock basically in the savings, but it's a high savings yield. So 10 years from now, 20 years from now, it'll be bigger. And sometimes I think it's like, I don't know, 3 years from now or something. Like you can basically pull it out, and it would have grown. You basically, like we do with all of our money, but we're giving the bank our money, and then they're investing it and putting in, increasing it, and then they get to borrow your money when they're doing things, but they're ensuring that you have your money. So they're not gambling your money or risking your money. They're letting you know that you have your money. But that is kind of the whole entity of how banks make money, is that they have the capital that, hey, when you join our credit union, you're going to have at least $5 in here. And you're like, okay, great. But if they do that to everyone, then they have millions of dollars, right? And then they're like, hey, we're going to buy this building, we're going to buy this capital, or we're going to buy this thing. And then they intelligently spend their money so that they're not in a deficit. That is the goal. I am not a banker. I am a realtor. To Louisiana said, morning. Good morning to you. DEFCON1 _ for all. So when I'm at conventions with her, sometimes, most of the time, her lines are out the door with her fans, and she always makes time for her fans. That's so awesome. That is so awesome. Let's see. Scrolling up real quick. Stephanie Nadolani. Cool beans. I have never been to Comic-Con. Actually, I wanted to go the last 2 years, or I said I was going to try to go. My kids were like not interested. So I might just go by myself. Or maybe I'll force them to go because I'm a mom. But I don't want, like, I hate when, as a mom, like, you're like, we're going. And you get there and the kids are like mopey. I'm like, that's not what I wanted. I wanted you to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here. So I try not to force my kids to have fun. I force them to do the chores. I force them to do laundry. And I beg them to get their school stuff done. So we're scrolling here. Scrolling there. Cool. T-Bear reposted. Thank you, T-Bear. I appreciate you. Mr. Wood said, what are you rambling about? I was rambling about financing and diversifying portfolios. Sometimes people are not fluid in finances, and they're like, what are you rambling about? But I ramble about everything. So it's kind of that thing. So finances, diversifying. Another way to diversify your finances is real estate. If you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Amber Bate. I am a realtor in Washington State, but my brokerage is not only nationwide, it is also international. So if you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate, feel free to reach out to me. I am currently streaming on 6 platforms. On my phone, I'm on TikTok, and on my webcam, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Kick, Twitch, and Facebook. Kumar said hi, hello to you. Good morning to you. That was on Instagram. Looking over here, Anthony Bullard said good morning to you. Thank you for the follow, Anthony, by the way. Yeah, diversifying in the realm of investing in real estate, stocks, bonds, etc. find that. Scroll here. So yeah, we have the coffee that has been sitting, I don't know, for a turn and a half. I have my Scooby-Doo cup. Issues, technical difficulties. There we go. Ricky225 joined. Thank you for being here. Okay, I'm gonna wait for that to go, and then we will talk about real estate, and I'll pour my coffee, and then we'll talk about relationships, and we'll talk about religion, because we already talked about finances. Ricky 2025 said, hey Amber. Hello Ricky. Was having technical issues on my webcam, but we're back. Feel free to ask me questions. I had some sage going, now I have a candle going. I drank some water, ground up some fresh coffee, waiting for my fresh French press. My middle name is Patience. Sometimes I speak fast, sometimes I rush things, and I have to remember, what is my name? What are we doing here? We're in it for the long haul. We don't do things quickly. Pushing this down nice and slow, my French press. And that is the cool thing about the French press. If it gives you resistance, it's not ready. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait. Let's make sure I'm in frame here. So by the way, YouTube has two different versions of me. So I have the shorts, which is portrait, and then I have live video, which is landscape. I get more views on the portrait because people hold their phones that way. And then, but anyway, like right now the portrait people can't really see my elbows, but the landscape people can on Twitch and the long form of YouTube. So got some coffee, some hot steaming coffee. Looking down for comments, questions, input. It's kind of like having coffee with a friend and like your friend's not talking. Oh, this was fun, gotta go. But yeah, my friend and I, we talked for like 2 hours yesterday. But it was good because we hadn't caught up in a while. So, timer again, we're now gonna talk about real estate. So we got some hot piping coffee. I'm gonna add 4 sugar cubes because I want to. Do you have sugar cubes in your house? Probably shouldn't. They're so cute though. I do love my sugar, and it helps me a little bit because I'm like, I just like dump the sugar in there. But you should measure your sugar. You should be aware of how much you're putting there. And plus 4 cubes of sugar isn't enough for me, but I'm going to put creamer in my coffee. So Kevy Kev joined on TikTok. Thank you for being here. Again, I am streaming on 6 platforms. I have 4 people on TikTok right now. I have 2 people on Facebook and 2 people on Instagram. If I have no one on any platform and I only have what do you call it? There's a bird. I try to remember to open my windows for the sage. Let's see. It reminded me of Charlie's Angels, like, oh my god, the bird's gonna tell them where I am in the world. I'm in Washington State. If you were someone you know is looking for buy or sell real estate, feel free to reach out to me. Zazigity on Instagram said, good morning, how are you doing today? I am blessed. Thank you for asking, how are you? I'm currently streaming on 6 platforms. I am redundant because not everybody knows. They're like, what are you doing? Or there's just me on. On my webcam, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and Twitch. And on my phone, I'm on TikTok. Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and Twitch, and YouTube. Let's see, looking. We have 602 likes on TikTok with 3 people on. We have one person right now on Instagram and 0 people on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Real estate. Talk about finances, diversifying your portfolio. A lot of people think, I can't afford a house, right? Not everybody, but some people are like, I can't afford a house, or I can't afford an investment property, or I can't afford a big piece of land, or I can't afford a condo, or I don't want to deal with HOAs, and I don't want to deal with taxes. And that's fine. How do you choose to diversify your income, your finances? And a lot of times people are like, well, I have to pay rent, right? Maslow's hierarchy of needs when it comes to self-care and human care is that you need food, you need water, and you need shelter. And in my luck and my interest, I am a real estate agent. I help people buy and sell homes. But it's not just homes, it's property, it's land, it's a plethora of things. It's investments. So for me, as a homeowner, and other homeowners can attest to this, you get like a little flyer from the tax assessor, and it's like, this is how much your physical building is worth, and this is how much the land is worth, and this is how much we're gonna tax you, right? So it's like, well, if I have to pay housing costs anyway, then I should have a mortgage. And if you go a step further, which not everyone gets to, you have a conversation about, just making sure I'm good on all ends. We have a conversation about generational wealth. So a lot of people in America and other places do not have housing costs because their families and generations before paid for that. So yes, you might have property taxes, and yes, you might have utility bills, and yes, you have maintenance of your home. That's no disrespect to anyone. But the difference of disparity of income is that if 2 people make $100,000, or 2 families make $100,000 a year, and one has a $4,000 or $5,000 mortgage, and the other one does not, they both still have to fix the roof, and they both still have to check the pipes, and they both have to still drive to work. But this person has a significantly heavier burden of paying a 30-year mortgage, or 50-year mortgage, or a 15-year mortgage. Whereas this person, because generationally his family has taken care of them, their family has taken care of them, they don't have that overhead, right? Also, living within your means. Sometimes people will both buy a house, but one person buys a $750,000 house, and then someone buys a $350,000 house. It goes back to budget. So figure out where you're diversifying in your finances: stocks, bonds, real estate, different savings accounts, different banks as well, right? Different opportunities. Figure out where you're diversifying in your real estate. Is my home a option for budget going back and forth? Can I pull out equity? Can I put in improvements? Can I subdivide my land? Can I do those things? Or hey, maybe I don't want to buy a home, I want to buy a duplex, so that can be an investment. Maybe I want to pick up a piece of vacant land and just hold it, right? Pay the property taxes, make sure you make good choices, things like that. So diversifying real estate. There's lots of choices for real estate. Do I want to become a realtor so I have access to that network of opportunities? Do I want to wholesale? Things like that. Okay, flipping this over again. What do I want to show? I saged. I don't know. I don't have anything to show. It's not true. I can find something. Oh. Soul man. Okay, so technical difficulties. Thank you for your patience. We got this board on one of our trips to Hawaii, and 2 of our islands came off. Like, anyway, it's pretty cool. So I have to Definitely moving things around. So this is Oahu. This is where we visit. I thought it was pretty cool. So I have to fix it and then hang it again. That's my show and tell. I love my family. I love Hawaii. We go every year, so ticket spot, I'm going. Next, we're going to talk about relationships. So today we're going to talk about relationships with community. So we've talked about boundaries are the distance I can love myself and love you at the same time. So there's some sacrifice that goes out towards you, and then there's some sacrifice from you to me, and then we meet in the middle. That's kind of all of those little sayings that we have as humans. Like, we're all living the human experience, right? So when it comes to Nardo said, "Are you in a relationship?" Yes. Nardo said, "Oh, never mind." Yes, it's everywhere. So it's, oh, I don't have my ring on, but yes, it's everywhere. The community is really important because it also goes back to self-love in the relationships with others. If you go to community theater, if you go to small businesses, if you frequent the vendors or the markets or those things, it's really important for you to, for self-love, for networking, right? It just makes you feel full and joyous, etc. So make sure that you're having a good communication and conversation with community, because it will make you, the quality of your life, a lot better. You're in the know about what's happening. You feel invested in your community. Like, I'm putting dollars back into the small business. I'm chit-chatting with neighbors. I know that this vote is coming up, etc. And then another really big thing is voting. A lot of people in different communities are like, my vote doesn't matter. I'm like, it does. And you have to remember, when you're talking about electoral and presidential and things like that, we can have that conversation all day. But being in your community, volunteering hours and time, learning your stuff, looking at local budgets, who is implementing the safety around your community is very important. So it's good for like awareness. I am running behind a little bit on time. I usually try to go stream for an hour, but this week has been a little jumbled. I didn't want to wake up too early and wake up my family, but I'm gonna go back to them. So I'm gonna finish up on religion. And again, religion for me is not denomination. Religion for me is the connection and relationship I have with Christ, with God, with Source. And so when you're talking about diversifying your finances stuff, I don't mean to divide your attention from God, because I think that that would be counterproductive to my speech. I'm a realtor, not a preacher. But if you read, don't be so heavily bound that you're no earthly good, but also don't be so earthly bound that you're no heavenly good, right? So if someone's like, here, this is the truth, and you're like, oh, yeah, this is the truth, and then someone else is like, oh, this is my truth, and now we're arguing, there's no reason. If someone goes, this is my truth, and you're like, oh, interesting, let me read your truth. And then if you start reading their truth and it feels, it doesn't align with you, sit with that for a second, and then go, yeah, I don't want to dive into that. It might be like Satanist, or like, you know what I mean, something that's so against you that you don't want to dive into that, right? It could be something so abstract and obscure that is intended to untangle you. You know when something is aligned with you or not aligned with you, right? But if you're like inquisitive to go, I didn't realize that I could just find the Quran translated in English. I could read the Torah. I can look at this person's manuscript or that person's manuscript. Or what did Michelangelo say about, like, you can, like, there's a whole world. Diversify. And be like, oh yeah, I heard that the Mormon, and you don't take one person's, like one Mormon person's like ideology and one person, Catholic person's ideology, and go, those people said that that's what they all believe. I'm like, no, watch TED Talks and like watch documentaries and diversify. It's making yourself more fluent and cultured, and you can still stand in your own truth and observe everyone else's. It makes you a more well-rounded individual. Someone said, hello from Iraq, hello to you on TikTok. Scroll, scroll, scroll. I don't think I have any more comments, so I appreciate the love. I appreciate the audience. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. My name again is Amber Bate. I am a realtor in Washington State, and if you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate, I'm here for you. I'm going to say bye to the stream first and then TikTok. So I'm going to click my button, and I hope you have a good day.